Hi, my name is Perry. I'm playing Minecraft on a Minecraft SMP server. All the information is just on the top right of the screen. And I'm just going to be talking about life and things that I think are important and just some questions I have pulled up. And I'm just going to be playing Minecraft. I'm trying to build a cool, Wild West town here on this SMP server. I got some other guys that I play with, but they're not on right now. And right now, I'm thinking I'm gonna make a clock tower right here and some other buildings here, and I gotta do some resource gathering and other things. But yeah, so I'm just gonna be chatting and yapping about just some things, and I, if anyone is chatting back to me, at least right now, I'm gonna probably not be able to see it just because I'm trying to stay focused and not suck myself out. Just trying to have fun playing Minecraft while talking, and yeah. So that's all. So I got some questions here I got pulled up just to kind of ask myself. And that way I have something to yap about because I don't think it's much more boring than just watching a YouTube video of a person play and they're just kind of gamer locked in like us gamers often get. So I figured it'd be nice to say a few things. There's a couple plugins on this server, like whenever you chop down a tree all the way, it gets rid of all the leaves, but nothing too game breaking. But anyway, and I haven't read these questions yet, so if they're not good or if I don't have anything to say, if I have to think about it for a second, that's why. But first question I got is, what do I think the world needs more of right now? Shoot. What do I think the world needs more of? Probably peace, you know? I mean, I guess you could say that for all of Earth's time being around, but I don't know. Peace and love, I think. It's just, I feel like, no matter who you are, where you are in the world, you know, what your culture is, anything like that, I just feel like people are just so scared. And I think there's so many people that just feel like they have to go in alone for everything in life. Just, I don't know. The world doesn't need to feel so lonely, There's whatever even is it. There's like however many billion people that live on this planet. This big old blue rock. This is not blue rock, but this rock with some ocean. There's billions of people out there, and I feel like so many of us feel so alone. So I'd probably say, yeah, we gotta go back and go sleep. I don't have any armor or nothing, so we gotta head back. But yeah, I'd probably say peace, love, and friendship. I think if everyone in this world felt loved, had a friend, and could find a moment of peace in their day, I think the world would be a better place, be a different place. People need more friends. People need more love. Everything else can follow that. But, so that's my answer to that question. Do I believe people are mostly good or mostly selfish? Well, I mean, there's kind of two ways to look at that question. I guess I'll look at it from a Christian perspective because I am a Christian. And I would say that I believe that it's human nature to be selfish, but it's God's nature and Christ's nature to be good. And I believe we have part of them in us, and I believe that we have that, the light of Christ in us. And so I think there's a, the dichotomy of good and evil there. You've got, I don't think people are necessarily one way or the other. I think it's a internal battle, the a soul versus the flesh, almost, if you will. At least that's how I would go about answering that question. If I just meant and generally speaking, which way do people succumb to more often than not? This might be a naive answer, but I think people are good. I think people are truly good, and I've met a lot of people that have had bad moments and have selfish moments, but I don't think I've met anyone that truly was just selfish for, being selfish sake. Well, by and large, think that, and you know, I've played some other games. I've played games like Rust, and I played kind of really competitive, kind of toxic games like CS:GO and all that. And Lord knows why I keep playing them. I just enjoy the gameplay more than the communities. But what I'm trying to get at is you meet a lot of different kind of people playing those games, and a lot of the time people can be rather rude at times, or I guess as the gaming community might call it, rather toxic. But I even playing these games that really almost bring out the worst in the gaming community, I've really just met some great fun people. I've had some fun times. And I guess summarizing this question, kind of tying it all back in to itself, is I believe that people send out that which they receive, and vice versa. I think people receive that which they send out. And so if you're sending out toxicity and hate and selfishness into the world, odds are that's probably going to come back your way. And if you're sending out love and peace and joy into the world, I think it's going to come back to you. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed. Doesn't mean that you're going to have a wonderfully happy life filled with nothing but joy and prosperity. If you're a happy person, like you'll have hard times. But I think by and large, that's a rule of thumb I at least try to believe in. To answer the question, what role does technology play in shaping who we are becoming? I think it actually plays a scarily large role, in my opinion. And that's not to say I'm a person that fears technology. I love technology. Like, I use ChatGPT more than I think anyone else I know. Just because it's I think greatly affecting the way it shapes us as humans doesn't mean we should be afraid of it. I think you could also ask the question of like, how does a chisel shape a marble piece? It's like, and I hope that's a real thing. I hope that we do use chisels to make marble pieces. I hope I'm not just pulling it out of thin air. But it's not about necessarily the chisel as much as it is about the person using the chisel. Like, the chisel didn't make the art piece; it facilitated the work. And I think the same can be true for technology. I think that it's not as much as it's making us become other people. I think it's just magnifying that what we already would have become. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's a fair analysis. Next question on the docket. If I had the power to change one thing about society, what would it be? Whew. That's a hard one. You can interpret that question 1,001 ways. I guess the one thing I'd change about society, or I guess revert back to a previous state in society, is I wish that people that had disagreements, opposing viewpoints, I wish we didn't go for each other's jugular. I see this across different cultures, different political views. I feel like, I mean, even amongst Christians, I just everyone's just, I guess, so vigorously involved in what they're doing. This is gonna make an iron pickle when we go home. People are so vigorously involved in what they believe in, and I think they almost feel like people not believing in exactly what they believe in is a challenge to what they're living, and people just get hostile. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, what I would change is I just wish that if we had a disagreement, we could just sit down over a drink and just talk about it. I was on YouTube Shorts earlier today, doom scrolling, and I came across this live stream of a guy, and I'm pretty sure he was intentionally rage baiting, which I don't know why people do that. I don't know why you get aroused and just make people upset on the internet. But anyway, this guy, he had posted something very political as the heading of his stream, and had said so and so is ruining the country. Call my number and chat about on stream if you disagree. And it sounds like a very friendly invitation, but when I looked into the stream, I mean, this guy was just going at it on this caller he had on his show. Like this host was just like pretty much full out like yelling at this guy, and they were like he had somehow they were talking about like Bible verses and how like this guy didn't believe in the Bible because he was an atheist and the host didn't and something like that, and it was just you could just tell like nothing productive was happening. Like the caller was also getting pretty ill-tempered because he was getting yelled at. And anyway, what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't matter necessarily the discussion they were having, rather just the mode of discourse. You know, they were just nothing productive was happening. Anyway, that's the thing I would change. I just wish we could go back to a time in society when, you know, a person could say, "Hey, like I really strongly disagree with your viewpoint. I think you're wildly misinformed and incorrect, and here's why." And the person could rebuttal in a certain sense and say, you know, like I do believe what I'm saying is true, and here's why I believe that. I think the world would be a much better place if we all just listened to each other. We weren't so quick just to cut each other off and go for the jugular, like I had mentioned earlier. And so that would be the thing I change about society. Yes, maybe I'll do a little bit of terraforming, just a little bit. So I know I want some dirt patches kind of going through the main strip of the town, and I know I want the town to go left. And so we'll do that, get a little change of pace, a little change of scenery from just mining trees endlessly. But I'll do this while I answer my next question. So the question is, what do I think people struggle, or why do I think people struggle so much with loneliness today? That's a good question. Dang. You know, it's paradoxical, right? Because, like I was mentioning earlier, the world has never been so connected. There, with you know our phones, our smartphones, the world has never been more connected. You know, but yet people all over the world feel so lonely. You know, and I really think that part of that is humans need and desire genuine face-to-face human interaction, human touch, human interactions. And I think when we're just looking at our, you know, tiny phones and tiny screens and looking at just videos of people, I think it takes the human out of it. I think it, you know, almost makes our souls crave for more because they know that they're not getting what they want. Maybe if I go put the framework of the rest of the village down, or not maybe the whole rest of the village, but some of the village. Take some oak out with me, and then I am going to need some spruce. Let me chuck these back in. Go grab some spruce from over here. Okay, let's ask a question about. Let's see the questions about myself. It's a lot of really good, deep world questions, but let's also ask questions about me. Very fittingly, the first question I just read on this list is, when do I feel most like myself? Kind of funny, because that's in a small sense what we were just talking about. I feel like it's so gloomy. How come it's not night right now? Interesting. And something I realized for this clock tower is I might scrap this because I want all the buildings here to be raised, just like you see them in like the Wild West style buildings. They're all kind of raised off the ground a little bit. So shoot. So I might do that with that. I don't know. We'll see how committed I am later. That's not lining up. Do I want to line up? Is actually better unlined. Actually might. Okay, there's no way it's not night right now. It is incredibly dark. Thank you. When do I feel most like myself? I don't know. You know, I think it depends because I think there's almost different sides of me as a person where I feel like, you know, let me do a little more counting. Is that gonna be big enough? Yeah, that's plenty big. I want these buildings to be too big because there's gonna be a whole ton of them. It's gonna be a whole village. I'll kind of build this up a little bit, and then I do know I want these to be oak afterwards. I might do planks across. Actually, yeah, I will do planks across. I should make all of that. Getting back to my question, I think it really depends just because there are times when I feel like myself in different ways. Sorry, that's not a great way of answering that, but what I'm trying to say is like there are times like per se when I'm at church, and you could say that at those times I feel a lot like myself when I'm talking about the Gospels and all the rest. I feel like a very real sense of myself that I don't feel at other parts of my life. But then when I go per se and play video games with my brothers or with my pals online, I like am laughing and I'm just like, sometimes I'm in hysterics because we're having such a good time. And at those times, I feel most like myself. Sometimes it's when I'm just watching a show with my wife and just having a calming, relaxing day. I feel most like myself, and I shouldn't say selves, but and so essentially what I'm trying to grasp at is there's many. How do I even put this? It's kind of a difficult question. Oh, actually, do I want there to be a little outside deck? Yeah, I do. That'll be sick. Just a little one, just like a little like 3, and then maybe that in the back. Yeah. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is there are times when I feel like myself in different ways, just because I am a very different person at church versus in my day-to-day life. I should say very different, but is this the Tetris theme song? Sure sounded like it. Is this the Tetris theme song? Sorry, I'm kind of getting a little distracted by that song. But and so anyway, in summary to the question, I can feel like myself most in different ways and in different places. Uh, when I am with, I guess, maybe let me rephrase the question. I'm starting to kind of lose myself, especially as I now start to build. I'm gonna say, when do I feel most like my true self? Myself in my truest form, my most real self. I'm out, Spruce. To answer that question, you know, I think I feel the most. I guess I shouldn't do this. Have it be a double entry this way. That's nice. I feel most like my truest self when I am spending quality time with my family or having deep theological discussions with friends. Just because when I'm doing that, like it just gets my brain firing, and like I really feel alive. Kind of like what I'm doing now. I'm kind of fumbling some of these questions, but I really I love just having deep intellectual conversations. Like it just makes just a part of my brain just so thrilled, just to I don't know, be thinking. Almost like how some people feel when they play like certain like logic games. It's just I just love the way when like my brain's just kind of like soaking it up in a sense, So that's where I feel like I'm my truest self when I'm having deep theological discussions and when I'm just spending quality time with my family, especially my wife. Like especially when we're on vacation, I can just kind of let loose and relax. So hard question, especially hard following up the thing I was just saying. Let's do another question about myself, and hopefully I can not fumble this one as badly. Sick. Let's get some of these replaced with spruce. What are you most proud of, even if no one else knows about it? The thing I'm most proud of, even if no one else knows about it. Hmm. I don't know. The thing I'm most proud of. Cutting iron here. I do. I ponder that for a second. Thing I am most You know, I guess probably my son. Uh, yeah, I'd say my son. It's obviously, I think the question's more leading to like a thing I have done with my life and more private thing. But I think the only real answer I can come up with is my son. I'm most proud of my son. Um, and the reason giving I'll give and why not my daughter is my son. He's my oldest. He's just a little baby right now, but he had a hard time when he was first born. He struggled when he came out. He just first well, I guess a little bit of backstory to that. It may I don't think it actually has a correlation to the actual event, but my sweet wife she got in a car accident. She rear-ended somebody going pretty fast, because she was checking her mirror or something, seeing behind her, and regardless, she got into a pretty serious crash. The whole front of our car got like completely folded in on her. And at the time, she was I think 4 months pregnant, and I remember like we just instantly like we went straight to the doctors, and I remember the whole time just praying and praying that my son was gonna be okay. And at the time, we actually didn't know it was gonna be a boy, and I remember just being so unbelievably worried, like worried sick, worried in a way that unless you're a parent that's gone through something like that, or unless you're a person that's experienced like just really scary health stuff, like it's hard to even fathom the amount of worry it can come to. So and so anyway, I was really scared and worried, and they said that even though it was a pretty gosh darn big crash, he was going to be okay. And that, he looked like he was going to pull through. His heart rate was still steady, and they said we'd keep monitoring it. And that's actually when we found out we were having a boy, is because they had to do kind of like an emergency ultrasound, and they were able to tell us that we were having a boy. And so pretty much from that point on, I was kind of worried sick. Again, it was my first kid. I was super nervous and being a younger father and everything. But anyway, oh, all these leaves are going to disappear as soon as I find this last blow. Anyway, so I'm just really proud of my son because he made it. He got to us, and then when we were actually in the hospital, waiting for our son to come, uh, he when he eventually did decide to show up after a pretty long labor, he just for some reason he didn't want to breathe. He just had a really hard time getting that. His little body just didn't want to breathe for some reason. And, oh goodness, the stress. I just because so they had to have him on oxygen for several hours, and this was all during COVID, and so we're in the hospital, and like none of our family can be there, and my wife's being tended to by nurses in a completely different room, and I'm just whisked away to some other room with my baby boy son, and he's just got like these wires up in his nose, and he just can't breathe, and I'm trying to help him best I can, doing what the doctors are telling me to do, like helping clear the bubbles that were coming out of his throat. I was just just hoping he could get through, you know. And I remember just like telling my son, I was like, just hang in there, little man. Like, just make it, okay? Just make it for me and your mom, and you know, we want to have a life with you. We want to be your parents and all the rest. And so anyway, in conclusion, in life, I'm most proud of my son because he was strong enough to get here and to stick it through all the hard things he went through, even before he actually even got here. I'm so proud of him for surviving that crash and for once he got here and was in the hospital and wasn't wanting to breathe, he powered through it eventually, and we were able to get him off oxygen after several hours, and it's been pretty much smooth sailing since then with only minor complications reoccurring. But so that's why I'm proud of him. You know, even if no one else knows it, like I'm proud of my son because he made it. You know what? I really like what I did with that one. Now looking at it, and I am really not liking how basic that one looks. Is this spruce or is this oak? This is spruce. Huh. Let me maybe just get some slabs and stairs, see if I can't give that a little more depth and bring that to life. Okay, that's helping a lot. Maybe this could be our jail. No, we wouldn't put our jail by our clock tower. I don't know if it's big enough for to be our hotel. Maybe bank? It could be our bank. Got enough room for like a vault room. I guess I would have like you'd walk in, there'd be like a teller like here. Is that too? No, that's good. Okay. Alright. I have to expand the building out the back, which we're not opposed to. I guess I will. I'll expand this building out the back. I'll add a little vault. And then the practical purpose of this will obviously be where I keep like my deepest storage. Let's go kind of build it into this side of the mountain a little bit. Use the terrain. Respect the topography. Mold to it, conform to it. I don't know if I'm gonna need all this space actually, but you know, maybe I can do like a little like a vault right here, couple chests, and then maybe like some like I know I'm not playing modded. I was gonna say filing cabinets, but what are some habits or routines that I do that help me feel grounded? I think probably one of the healthiest habits I do is I play instruments. I don't actually have to read sheet music, but I love playing the steel pan. I love playing my mandolin, my ukulele. I really love doing that kind of stuff. Just something about just like I don't know, just makes me feel so alive and connected to the world. And so yeah, that's what I would say for. That's not what I want to do. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Yeah, I love playing instruments. I love taking time playing instruments with my kids. We do like a little music class with them. It's currently not presently running just because it doesn't run during the summers. But okay, I actually kind of like this little peeky hole. Maybe there's like a robber that's coming over here, and they've kind of dug this hole and they scout out the bank before they pull off the heist. Kind of like that. That was good. That was a nice, quick, and easy one about myself. Not too complicated. I know I said I like having deep conversations, but I will say my brain is getting a little cooked from all the wonderful deep conversations. Let's do one more. And we'll do another peeky hole. Actually, no, we won't, because we'll probably slap that out. wish that it was peaceful so we could enjoy the nights. It's just good vibes in the mesa at nighttime. Okay, let's do one more question about the world and humanity. Let's see here. Is it possible for everyone to be truly happy? Why? Why not? Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that doesn't mean I don't think some people are gonna have an easier time experiencing happiness than others. You know, if you have a really like close knitted family or a strong group of friends around you, like yeah, you're gonna hopefully have an easier time experiencing friendship, or not friendship, experiencing happiness and being truly happy. But I do believe that everyone is gonna be able to be happy in this life. Just because I believe that if we all are pursuing the things we want to pursue because we want to pursue them, I really think that that leads to happiness. One, I think uh, personally, again, as a Christian, I believe that coming to Christ and learn about Him that brings happiness into your life. Uh, I think just having just a wholesome family fun, you know, whether that's even with family, like whether that's with your friends or with your family. I think that having just wholesome recreation brings happiness. And obviously, I know again, some people have easy easier access to that stuff than others. But I do believe that if you have maybe this is a good way of saying it. If you have your heart set on being happy, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna find a way, you know. Whether you're going through tragedy, whether you're going through heartbreak, you know, if you really focus in on that and say, you know, I'm not gonna let this change me. I'm gonna be happy. You know, whether the world wants me to be today or not, I'm gonna be happy because I want to be happy. I think that this is coming together a little bit. Really liking this. I think if you set your heart on being happy, you're gonna be happy, 100%. I'm a firm believer that happiness is a choice, uh, and it's not the easiest choice a lot of the time. But if you keep putting happiness out into the world, I bet you it's gonna come back to you. You know, guarantee it. So let's do a little kind of quiet recap of everything we did today. We kind of I wasn't really talking about why I did it, but we made an impromptu tree farm, so we don't have to go eons away for wood. Uh, we didn't really do any work on the clock tower, but we did a lot of work on this bank, which I'm super thrilled about. I'm really like how this comes across. I'll probably do some iron farming tomorrow and get like whatever they're called, the jail pieces or the you know what I'm thinking about, the rails or whatever. Why is it? Oh yeah, don't show me what I can build. Show me everything. What are they called? Why can't I think of it right now? The little grate, the little like prison grate thing. I'll put that right here. That way it's kind of more like a old-fashioned, old-timey bank teller thing. And so I'm hoping to finish the bank tomorrow. I don't think I'll finish the clock tower tomorrow just because I really want to do a good job on that one. I know I want spruce for that one. And then as far as resources, we got a crazy amount of oak wood. Got a little bit of iron that was able to give us some iron tools to help us out. And then as far as what we discussed, we were talking about a lot of great things actually. You know, we talked about life, my humble thoughts on some things, and again, you're welcome to disagree with me, and if you do, please tell me why. I'm gonna try to listen to my own advice that I said earlier, and just really just try to keep my heart and my mind open to new thoughts and hopefully learn something. I hope you all enjoyed this time that we've had together. You know, whether it's just me here talking to the void, or if there's one person out there that's listening that's enjoying this, I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to have lived the life I live, to have the viewpoints I do have, and to have the peace I do have in my life. I hope that as I keep playing Minecraft and expressing the thoughts I feel, that I hope that I'll be able to have a deeper appreciation for my life and hopefully help maybe even just one more person find a deeper appreciation that they can experience in their life. So that's all we'll end it for today. Thanks again so much for joining me.